Hello there. Welcome back to Nick Month 2. This time it's personal. I'm Scotty Here or Not. Today we're talking about Shredderman Rules from 2007. Or what I've always thought of as the movie that was left on Devin Werkheiser's contract before he left Nickelodeon. Because really it was this and then he was gone, right? He did Ned's a Classified School Survival Guide, and then this, and then a weird rarity. This is not from Paramount. There were a string of direct-to-DVD movies or direct-to-TV movies like this, and Jim Teacher the Movie, and Spectacular were all released by Sony. This is Nicky Deuce is released by Mar Vista, but is on Paramount Plus, whereas Jim Teacher the Movie and this and Spectacular are not because they're owned by Sony. So, and so, Nickelodeon had to. I still think Nickelodeon did it first in '97 with Good Burger or '98 with Good Burger, whatever it was, taking their stars and putting them in movies. Something Disney would do, but Nickelodeon did it first. Nickelodeon did it first because they did it with Good Burger, which was a theatrical film. Then they started doing TV films with Disney and with their own stars, and they do it here too. And that's where we have Devin Werkheiser from Ned's the Classified School Survival Guide. But he's not the only Nickelodeon alumnus or soon-to-be actor. Mindy Sterling, who plays Miss Briggs on iCarly, or would go on to play Miss Briggs. I don't know when this came out, if iCarly was already on. Was Dr. Voss in this. And the bully, Bubba Bixby, was played by Andrew Caldwell, who would still be playing a teenager 10 years later on Henry Danger. To be fair, they do make a joke on the show there, where Captain Man pushes him against the locker. He's like, "Hey, you can't hit me. I'm a kid. Kid, you look at least 26." Yeah, that's fair, because he was 26 at the time. But here he plays Bubba Bixby. And yes, I'm going to say it like that, because as soon as they said his name was Bixby, I did that. Bixby! So, yeah. They also have Francia Reza as a love interest, Isabel. And I've always thought she looks way too close to Kristen Serratos, who played, that was her name, Susie Crabgrass on Ned's Declassified. To the point where I think maybe they tried to get her and couldn't, so they got an actress that looked a little bit like her. To be fair, she doesn't sound like her at all. And by the end, she I was like, okay, maybe she is different, but I don't know. I always thought she looked the same. And I know she doesn't go by that name anymore, but we also have some other actors we know, like Daniel Roebuck as the mayor. No, not the mayor. As the local sewage man, Bixby. Bob Bixby, Bubba's father. Tim Meadows in a supporting role as one of the teachers. And I actually like Tim Meadows, and I like him in this. Tim Meadows is one of those guys, who came out of Saturday Night Live, didn't do much, did the latest man, and then he just shows up in bit roles in Adam Sandler or Happy Madison movies because he's friends with Adam Sandler. Much like Rob Schneider, if he wasn't friends with Adam Sandler, he wouldn't have a career. But also, Dave Coulier is our main character, Nolan's father. I forgot to say, Nolan Bird, or Bird Turd, is Bubba Bixby calls him. Okay, I'm just going to call him Bubba from now on, because I keep saying Bixby's going to annoy people. Bubba calls him Bird Turd, which you really have to search your brain hard for that, did you? Bird Turd. Yeah. And I feel like Nolan's mom was the mom from the Mary-Kate and Ashley sitcom So Little Time, which was their last sitcom ever before they left acting. Yeah. And yes, I followed their careers to their teenagers. They're a year older than me, so you know, I I kind of grew up with them literally because it's like, oh, I watched direct to video. Only one really, the Case of Thorn Mansion, where I rented all the time from Cash Wise back in the day, and then I watched the TGIF sitcom Two of a Kind, which I liked, and then they did So Little Time that was broadcast on ABC Family that I also liked. Both of those shows only got one season, so it shows you. I did not watch any of the You're Invited stuff, although it was on one time because I fell asleep. They had a morning block on ABC Family, and I fell asleep. It was like, oh yeah, I got up early enough to watch this, and I fell asleep. When I woke up, one of the You're Invited things, because they're on the American National Marathon, those movies that they came out with, you know, all those movies. How the West was fun, and It Takes Two. Those are the two I grew up with, really. Oh, Double Double Boys in Trouble at the Grandma's House we go, of course. But anyway, enough of the Olsen twins that aren't in this movie. So Nolan is picked on by Bully Bubba, one more time, Bixby by Bubba, and so, because I could call him Bixby, but I've been saying it like that the whole time, by Bubba, and I don't. This pissed me off. Okay, you know me. I hate the bully stereotype in movies. It works for this movie, but it just, I don't know. There was one scene where I was ready to reach to the screen, grab Bubba, and slap him across the face. Just, cause like, it's a scene in the classroom where I think Nolan starts daydreaming, so Bubba puts a piece of paper on him and steals one of his, I don't know, it's like a wood or something, a plastic thing. And he like laughs at him and breaks the thing when he comes back to his like. But yeah, so after keep being bullied, he's had enough and decides to stand up to the bully, but not directly. Instead, creating an alter ego on the internet called Shredderman. Okay, so this is one that I've seen before. Not one that aired on Nickelodeon. I watched the DVD I rented from the library years ago, a couple years after it, but I never really. And I was like, okay, what is Shredderman? So I watched this, and I was kind of disappointed because, well, the Shredderman rules. It's not a superhero movie, or he hasn't become a superhero. He creates this alternate identity of Shredderman on the internet and uses the internet to kind of get revenge on Bubba. Oh, when I said name so bad, on Bubba for what he's doing, and he does, and then that causes problems in school because. I don't know, that the teacher has to be crooked, Dr. Voss has to be crooked, I guess. Also, Alexander Koronsky is on the back of the case. Was she in the movie? If she was, I had missed her. It's a blink and you miss a cameo, and she's on the back of the case. I thought she was going to be important, but she's not. There's also this other girl that Nolan hangs out with that is very weird, constantly talking about times that she was naked. Like one time I was in the doctor's office naked, and I'm just like, what? Why would this be in a kid's movie? What? I don't know. Let alone a Nickelodeon movie. But we get told by Nolan what happened. Even his best friend Max turned on him and joined the bully. This is realistic. However, I like that they portray it as he did it, but he didn't completely turn. Like, he's not bad. Like, there are times you see that he feels bad about what's going on. So, yeah, and by the end, they're friends again. It's very weird. So, Nolan uncovers a scheme by Bubba's father, Bob Bixby. Sorry. Bob, he's saying he's going to restore the lake, but really he is going to pump it through, full of sewage. I will admit, I have this I'm listening to as I am cataloging my Funkos in the bedroom, because I recently got the Funko app, so I was cataloging all of them, all but 3, because I couldn't get them to work. But so I have a collection on there, so the ones that I have, except for 3. But yeah, so I was listening, so I got the gist of it. So Nolan, a point is made early on that Nolan and Bubba's backpacks are exactly the same. And when it happens, it seems like just a bullying thing. Oh, it looks like my backpack. Because, bullies do that. It looks like my backpack. No, it's mine. No, it's mine now. And he takes it, stuff like that. Like, no, I said it's mine. Take, stuff like that, But like, no, it actually looks like his backpack. So Nolan uses that to swap the backpacks around and get a voice recorder to record things. So once you know it, he happens to do it just as Bob Bixby is about to talk about, in a big Bond villain fashion, his plan to throw the sewage in there. So he gets that, and he gets it back, and he uploads it. But by this point, and this is like later in the movie though, by this point they shut the website down because it's so weird. So he gives the backpack. It was over the weekend. How does he get it? Why doesn't he get it back right away? Because there's a whole thing where he finds out that they kidnapped Isabel's guinea pig and gave it to a pet store. He goes to get it and finds the weird girl. He and Max go to get it and find the weird girl trying to buy it. But when he tells him that, hey, that's not yours, that was someone else's, he goes, okay, take it. Because he doesn't want to get in trouble. So he does. And then there's this whole thing. I'm like, good, he got it. Then they do a scene where he almost gets hit by the sewage truck. And the thing was wet. I'm like, really? Did we have to do a goofy thing? And once you get to this scene, you're like, why did they do this? Because it's like, okay, he confronts Bob, and tells him, well, Shredderman's going to take you down. And so on that's somehow enough evidence to go to the cops and get the website shut down. Which, by the way, they cannot do. Well, I guess maybe they can. But here's my issue. They can shut the website down, but they can't get into the website to trace it back to where it came from. The IP address, they can't do that. No. This is there to just kind of run the time down because I was wondering because he uploads that and then nothing happens. He's talking to people, like no one's freaking out about it or anything. He has a nice conversation with the teacher. No one's freaking out about it, and that's when Bubba's like, "Oh hey, my dad had that torn down. Thanks for the warning, bird turd." I'm like, what? Yeah. So he has to go to this protest that the students are doing and broadcast this. So he comes in with a plane that Bubba smashes, but then there's another one, and he's controlling 2 other planes hooked up to this thing that he's got, and there's a boat, because he's a tech genius apparently. There's this boat that he has broadcasting what he recorded on these little speakers that stick out, and I'm going, how could they hear that? It must be really loud, I guess. But it's a little boat. It's a boat bigger, maybe. And, Dr. Voss almost finds him, but then thanks to help from Isabel and her kite, they end up getting the sewage on them. And, Bob only gets community service, and Bubba doesn't get in trouble at all. They make it look like he's changed around, but he's like, psych, and I'm just kidding. He does this thing where he'll rewind. Like, there's a whole thing where he doesn't want to just say nothing, because then parents will think something's up, so he just makes something up, and then okay. Yeah. Also, her guinea pig is not pregnant because he put them in the same. Her guinea pig and his guinea pig, and they must have made love that night. I guess. That's it's not that easy to do that. I never had to breed guinea pigs, but like you have it when it comes to animals, all right. If you want to try to breed, they have to be compatible. And if they lived in the same house, like say two dogs living in the same house together, that works. But you introduce one animal to another, they're put off for a little while there. So you have his guinea pig, you introduce another guinea pig in there, they're not going to get along that fast to make love and get her pregnant. So it's a nice little joke at the end, but it doesn't make any sense when it comes to animals. So, and I do like the end where he asks her out, but then he's so excited that he asked her out that he doesn't stay for the answer. She's like, "Yo, I didn't answer you yet." He's like, "Oh, what do you say?" She's like, "Yes," and then she has like a catchphrase, "Nolan Bird, you're weird." She says it throughout the thing. I thought it was going to lead to because I didn't remember the ending. I thought that she was going to find out that he's Shredderman and go to kiss him and go, "Nolan Bird, you're weird," and then she kisses him. But no, that's just that. It does end with that, but it's not the way I thought it was. And apparently he and Max are cool again, and people seem to like Nolan better, I guess. But yeah, it's a fun little movie. I'll give it a high middle of the road. It's not. I'd watch it again. I would. But it's not one. It's not a go-to. If I want to watch a Nickelodeon movie, it's not going to be the one I throw in. At a Good Burger or Snow Day or Clock Stoppers. Clock Stoppers before Snow Day. If I'm going to pick a Nick movie to watch, Good Burger, Clock Stoppers, Snow Day. Yeah, it was fine. So, what are your thoughts on Shredderman rules of the console? Be sure to like, share, and subscribe. Thanks for watching. I'm Scotty, and I'll see you in the next one.